Hmm.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Someone is increasing their volume.
Sorry, that was me. Can Can you hear me?
Hmm.
Okay. So, based on my experience in the last couple of months, so these are just a few things that I found that I've learned through this experience.
Right.
So, creating the content calendar, finding relevant content to help promote the brands based on the three aspects: so sales strategy and marketing. And also, the first time I've created a video using Loom, so that was interesting. And also, introduction to Substack, that was an interesting tool I found. Um, so I've also, since everything is on Rome, I've just put the Rome link there,
Mhm.
just, since we shifted everything there.
Hmm.
So based on my experience, I thought I gave it about a 7 on 10 because it gave me a sense of something new to learn. Um, the scope for improvement I found was, oh, sorry, let's go with what I liked. So I like that we had daily interactions and brainstorming sessions, so it would help us plan our day accordingly, and it could help us with getting out content and chalking out a proper path, which I found interesting. And the podcasts also were really good because some insights helped me as far as understanding processes and understanding the way things work. So I found that useful. What I found that there was scope for improvement is, basically whenever things were set, they also were changed like at the spur of the moment. So that's kind of, then you have to go back to the drawing board, re-come up with a new plan and try and get things work. So that's one thing I found, that we could at least keep things in a set process, and if changes are there, it would gradually implement changes rather than doing it sporadically. But that was one. Yeah, and because it was a short time period, obviously I didn't get a chance to use more tools and everything. So that was something I found, and also we didn't get a chance to work on a live project.
Wait, isn't MAG a live project?
No, no. As in, aside from that, like what I meant to say was, like from other companies, like paid gigs. Maybe, sorry, my wording might have been wrong.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah. So would I continue? Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, be- Sorry.
Yeah, good.
Okay. So I would continue. The only challenge that I have now is the time factor.
Hmm.
So I want to dedicate time, but the thing is that the commitment factor, I don't want to say that I'll do it and then I disappear. That's
Right.
not the way I work.
Hmm.
So I can do it, but I can give maximum, I think, 1 hour given my current scenario, the way it is. But I do want to contribute as much as I can because I feel this can help me grow personally as well as professionally. That is the reason I would like to continue.
Yeah, that's fair. But this 1 hour includes this daily meeting as well, or apart from this meeting?
Apart from this meeting, because
Okay.
right now what's happening is, there is a learning session going on over there, so I'm basically logged in there and logged in here, so that's why I'm on my phone.
Okay.
So that's kind of the thing, and their sessions are recorded, I can go back and see.
Hmm.
But over here, I need to understand the work process and what needs to be done so that I can find time during my day and get things done. So that's kind of the thing.
Hmm.
So that's my only challenge, that I can't dedicate a lot more time than I would like to, but I definitely would. That is my only challenge in this scenario right
Okay.
now.
I mean, 1.5 hours a day. That's more than enough to learn anything
Hmm.
consistently if we do it, right? So
Right,
half an
right,
hour of this daily stand up and 1 hour of work. Yeah.
right.
Good. Great. Yeah. PG students and working professionals who have an interest in what other people don't work. Yeah, correct. So these things a lot of people have been telling. Like Abhishek we spoke yesterday, and he was like, if they're not willing to put in the effort, then they shouldn't even apply. Right?
Exactly. I mean, if you're not interested in this thing, there's something that has to get you up in the morning to
Hmm.
come to this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, for the other thing, it's a paycheck. So right now, I know I am there. But
Correct.
yeah, for this, it is interest, it's passion. So
Right.
that's kind of the idea.
Great. Cool. This is very candid and so we'll go from 7 to 10. That should be the goal as a community to move your rating from 7 to 10.
Right.
Great. Who's next? Shailesh, Suman.
Yeah, I'll go.
I can go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, Celeste.
Want me to share the screen or should I just like
Yeah.
say
Share.
what I've written?
No. Share the screen. Or you can send the link. I'll open it. Either way.
So what I learned is about the content curation and research, as this was something that I hadn't done before, and creating this long form contents, creating blogs and other things. So this was definitely a takeaway for me, and yeah, learned about the new concepts on marketing, like we did the other day on moment marketing, ad copies. Yeah. And yeah, and basically, how do you grow a brand? Like, what are the initial stages? What are the initial steps? And how do you lay a foundation to grow a brand? Is something that I learned during this apprenticeship.
Right.
Yeah, and my rating on the experience is 7 out of 10. And the things that I liked about was the daily stand-up that we do. Definitely helps you plan your whole day, and set things in place. When when we talk, we discuss. Like, this is what used to happen back in the work also. We used to do morning huddles every day and plan out the day and plan out our weekly strategies and other things. And the weekly podcast, yeah, this is definitely something which is very um, that it's good to learn from subject matter expertise from the industry, right? Like bringing them, taking learning from their experiences, learning more about the subject from them is definitely helpful. So and yeah, like Satyan also pointed out, like in the initial stages there were people who were hopping on and off, so it definitely create a little bit of disrupted the flow in the beginning, but then yeah, lately it has been fine. And one thing what I was thinking otherwise is that working in one role, like for example, like I have been working on content curation part. Now it's like week 6, week 7, and that has been the only thing that I am doing. So it may result in a monotony where I think that okay, I can look for something else also, like shuffling in between creation to distribution to strategy. Yeah, if we can shuffle these roles also, maybe on a weekly basis or something, then one person will have a few more departments to look after.
Right. Noted.
And so something that can be improved was like till now we've learned what of things, like what is moment marketing or what is sales, what is marketing. And if we can also try to imbibe on how the things are done, like for example, we learned about moment marketing the other day. How should we actually do that? If we can actually work on that, then probably it will further improvise our learning as well. Like maybe we can do moment marketing for our own brand, so that while we are writing about it, we are doing one for ourselves too.
Right. Makes sense. Okay.
And yeah, I would like to continue that. So because it gives me an opportunity to learn new things and interact and network with people like you. And yeah, who's gonna derive mostly from this is early stage professionals, like someone who's new into marketing or sales, or learners who are in the grad and PG towards the later stage of their semesters, when they're really looking to get into the industry. So it does give them, See, education, like, I don't know if we discussed this last time, they don't prepare you for a real-time world. Right. So this is a good platform where they can actually see what's really happening outside.
Right.
So, and yeah, subject enthusiasts and definitely those who are interested towards this, like.
Right. Perfect. Awesome. So we'll talk about the role switching. Let's finish. Let's collect all the feedback and then we'll
Yeah.
this. Okay. All right. Suman.
Is visible?
Yes. Wow. Deck.
Okay. So so three things which I've learned from this apprenticeship. One is obviously content curation.
Right.
How to get it from different sources, how to reframe it, understand it, and then how to publish it. So the total end-to-end cycle. Second is all advertisement dissection. I was never into ads and still I stay away from ads. However, I loved the way frameworks were created and the ads got dissected. So that's one. And second is a community engagement. So people from different places coming together, getting the work distributed, and we are, so this is the future of work. That's what we are working on.
Correct.
That and what the world will do tomorrow, the fact that we are doing it today is something I have learned and I liked it.
Nice.
Overall, how much would I rate it? So it's a 7 from my end. And I'll
Did you
come
guys
now.
talk to each other or what?
Excuse me?
Did you guys talk to each other?
No.
No, we didn't. This is a coincidence.
Okay, cool.
So that's it. So we are syncing up. We are syncing up to telepathy or whatever you call it.
Right.
So that's good. So that's the community engagement.
No. I meant for the rating because all
Yes.
given 7, right? So I was like,
That's also a telepathy, right? The community sunk up without even syncing up.
It shows how well we are engaged.
Nice.
Okay. So what are the things that I liked? One is what I said, varied interest group, people coming together and working towards a common gratification, be it publication or be it a podcast towards a common gratification. That's what we love. And obviously the second is the daily morning stand-up, which sets pace for all the deliverables that are to be done during the day.
Right.
What are the three things that I didn't like? One is the research churn or the stickiness of the resources. Second is content distribution. And I'm not only saying about distribution through channel, even the irregular publication time. So even, and finally, the last minute planning for podcasts. So if we're getting an industry leader, we are not getting time to tell the world that someone is on board. Last minute planning that we are doing for the podcast. Even though that's a massive value add. What can be improved? I have a suggestion. We need to gamify the content distribution with leaderboards. The content distribution and the engagement that the distribution team gets on the content will have a leaderboard, and the leader will get a prominent display opportunity. The display opportunity not only gives him a position that a community is displaying him, it also gives him something to put on his personal profile and also get out to the world that yes, he is good in content distribution, etc. That's the first effect. The second effect is obviously who creates the content. Person like Shailesh, who is going on churning content week after week. Apart from his personal channels, this also gives him something that whatever content he's creating is getting recognized somewhere. And the way I thought is to gamify the content distribution with leaders.
Nice.
Finally, what Shailesh said, allow cross-functional deliverables. So that can be done to improve the deliverables. Would you like to continue? Yes. One, obviously, to derive value from the community.
Right.
And second is what I always said, work with the younger crowd, because there are people from whom I am learning, and I have nothing to be ashamed of that I am learning from younger people.
Correct. Yes.
So who do you think will derive most value? One is people who are seeking internship because they are seeking internship. Say they might be interested, and the other is fresh students who are awaiting placement or joining in some place. They can come in and derive value from this program. So we are only looking at the supply side, not at the demand side, because we are the supply.
Right. Yeah. Great. Awesome.
That's it. A few suggestions. This is an extra, so it's after the thank you slide.
Right.
So no content work on day of publication. You just throw the calendar off. Yesterday, whatever blog came out, I don't think anyone published it on LinkedIn, personal LinkedIn as well. It was already quite late in the day. Whatever. So we do not do. By Sunday, let's try and get it done.
Right.
The other suggestion was a conversational engagement of content, not just pushing it, but conversing with people and trying to push the content. The first and third are obviously linked. One is the fixed time for content publication. So we have fixed the days. Now let's try and fix the time also. That's two. And the third is the final is totally a personal tech. So I think apart from you and Gigi, there are other co-founders as well in Mac. And if they are working towards something for the Mac community, it would be great if we get to know, because even we are creating content, distributing whatever, we are living under the illusion that the other co-founders might be working on something, and there is a separate track of traction which is taking place.
Oh, okay. Who do you think are the other co-founders?
So there are around 6 co-founders, if I'm not wrong, on the Mac page. Yes, Sanskriti, Rasika, Shivam, you, Gigi.
Okay.
Well, because I am not.
Yeah, they're not co-founders. Like they initially put in some effort. Like Rasika has put down her paper. She'll join full time in December. Okay, December 15th. Shivam is still a student. Just that how it happened was. I keep forgetting her name. The other girl, wait. Sanskriti. So Sanskriti put a post on her LinkedIn page, and then something along the lines of this community, right? But she had a very vague idea. And then Gigi and I reached out to her. Similarly, Shivam, Rasika also reached out to her. So then she started a mail thread, okay, of us together. That's all she did, right? But the thing is, like, she puts the content out, she writes sometime, but like she's too busy. Like she doesn't respond. Like she's not on WhatsApp. She doesn't. It's only mail communications with her. But my point is, technically there are no co-founders. Okay, it's just like a community. It's not registered, nothing, right? Like Giridhar and I are putting, because for us it's part of the larger thing that we are building, right? For us, Skills Chain is the main thing, and for that, communities has to be set up. And like any platform, initially you have to seed the value proposition that you're selling yourself, right? So if Skills Chain is a platform and the value proposition there is communities, then we have to seed few communities in a way that we want it to be done, right? Like, because community as a word has been beaten to death, right? Like people just, like, you have a WhatsApp group, they call it a community, right? So we wanted to create along the lines that we thought about, right? Like based on research and whatever we have been doing. So the people that you see on the website are more like initial adopters or initial well-wishers, basically, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was never questioning commitment. My question was, if people are doing something else also for the community, we could get in sync with that.
Well, I got the point. Right now, though, apart from this growth engine coursework that we are trying to give to colleges, there is, Shivam is working on that. Okay, so he's making a list of colleges that we can reach out to, but that's also very, what to say, it's evolving, right? Like you guys must have seen, everything that we are doing is evolving, but the good thing is it's evolving in the right direction. That's the only metric that I look for. Right? As long as we are going the right direction, it's okay. At some point, we are gonna speed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you have also mentioned here, it's like people from different walks of life and with no incentives, like Satyam said, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there's no incentive and still if you're able to run this community, then that kind of gives a very good story for us to tell. For example, we are pitching to Rome. Okay, Rome has a fund now, which they are giving to people who are building applications on top of Rome, right? And we have a perfect story for that.
Mm-hmm.
So once we get funding, then probably we'll have like really dedicated people, right? Then all these things will go away. But like you correctly said, we are trying to create, and that's also our pitch, right? Which is the future is remote work, and how can a community sustain such a remote work of individual gig workers? That's our whole pitch, and I think you had captured that very nicely. We are setting process, we fine tune it, and then like 1 week we'll be like, okay, let's follow this, and then next week we are changing that. So initial stages, so it has to be like that. And also one thing that I've realized is like the moment you give like step 1 to step 10, people look at it as a job, right? But whereas if you give a high level framework, though the step 1 to 10, right? But if you give the community that, hey, this is the high level thing that we want to do, and then they come out with the answers, and then the ownership increases, right? So a very tight structure may not also work. Anyway, so we are playing around with these concepts anyway. But this is great. Especially I like that thing about the community thing and tying it to remote work. That's exactly where we are going towards.
Okay, thank you. I'll stop sharing.
Yeah. In that, if we can add incentives, so that's why you had talked about the leaderboard. So that's the next step. Ideally speaking, across all the communities that we are building, so we have some way to bring in people, be it apprenticeship, be it fellowship, whatever we call it. We have some kind of processes set in place and tools like Rome is there to manage these things. The next step obviously is the incentives part. But yeah, that's a big part in itself. Let's see. Yeah, that will be tied to your paid gigs also, right? So the person who is skilled and vetted by the community that this person is skilled, and that person will get a top preference to work on a paid gig, right? Only then it can scale. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. Great. Ajay, do you have the feedback from you? Ajay, Aisha?
Oh, yeah. Okay. It was on mute. Okay, sure. Yeah, so I haven't prepared any PPT or anything, so I'll just speak out if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. So I'll start with the three things that you have learned during the apprenticeship. Okay, so basically prior to this, what I was doing, I had a job at Byju's. So it was a completely sales-oriented job with no teamwork whatsoever. It was a lone wolf kind of deal. Just come to office, make your calls, schedule assignments, and on weekends go do the sales. That was the kind of structure that I didn't like. I wanted something to be, team member oriented, team oriented, where
Right.
you can learn, collaborate, and then move forward. So that is the reason I left that job and started doing marketing. So I did some courses. I prepared for CAT and so on. So around that time, I learned about Mad About Growth, and I decided to join only because of that. I have some entrepreneurship aspiration. I want to start something later on, and for that, it is very important for me to see how things are done. How to take off from the ground? How to start joining an organization that has already some set teams with marketing and sales and that is okay. That is fine. I can easily join and be a part of a team. But learning everything right from the scratch, that was my objective, and that is the reason why I joined Mad About Grow. From day one, I have seen as to how teams performed, how the tasks were delegated to others. So that is what I wanted to learn and observe. I'm more of an observer. I haven't been able to take much part in the things that Gigi, Suman, and you yourself have been doing, but I have been more of an observer to see exactly how things needed to be done. As you all have a lot more experience and have been through that process, so that is what I wanted to look, and that is what I wanted to learn, and that's what I got. So that's what I would refer to as the thing that I did learn through the apprenticeship, and my experience. I would say 6, 7, maybe 8. Yeah, definitely, it was a great learning experience. Uh, Things that I didn't like, I think it's fine. I mean, it's at startup stage, and like I said, there is no incentive, and we are doing it through our own volition. So that is fine. There is nothing particularly wrong. We are just learning as what goes wrong. So again, this is what I wanted to learn. What happens, what goes wrong, what happens when you don't assign tasks, or whatever can things that can go wrong. You just go through trial and error, and then have a nice smooth operating machine. So that is completely okay. I don't find any particular fault with it. Whatever there is, we get it fixed within a week or so. So that is that. And yeah, definitely I would like to continue with this. It's a great learning experience, and I love doing this.
Okay, great. But like, what can be improved?
See, I mean, from what I've seen, if we are planning to take on, more apprentice and other people, there needs to be maybe some kind of, written document or formal or something. People like to, show things on their LinkedIn resume or their resume. Yeah, I worked at this place. I was doing this. So that is one thing that we will have to look into if we are trying to make it, grow big or something. But as far things stand, it's great. It's a learning curve. We'll just
Right.
get things as are required. So that is fine. We are on a good learning curve, and there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, great. Gigi, any thoughts?
I think the points were very crisp and clear, and the takeaways are really good. And yeah, Suman, Satyan, Sailesh, and Ajay, the points were very, very valid. And actually, in terms of the community, also we are also heading in I think, on the same direction. And I'm glad that we have got some kind of validation also on these lines. Good points to take forward for our implementation of the next batches as well. And points taken as well, guys. So we are also kind of heading in the same direction to get in paid gigs and start working with the community to take up the projects and getting it executed. So I think we are in the right direction now. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so we all agree that distribution. Yeah. So from strategy, the biggest takeaway, or at least for people who come next to come and join us immediately, is the clarity that we have in terms of content buckets, right? Initially, when we started, we didn't even have that, right? So right now, it's marketing, sales, strategy, and the fourth week is still, maybe we'll do Mag Levitate. Maybe we'll do this community critic, because I really enjoyed it, and that's making me think in a very different direction. Anyway, so for now we'll keep it as Mag Levitate only, right? The community critic can be part of podcast, whatever. But the point is that clarity is there, right? Like the buckets are there. Then once the buckets are ready, then we have a high level strategy. At least for like next 2-3 months, we know what all the blogs that has to be written, and that is tied to a higher purpose, which is the 3 buckets. And then from there it goes to the curation team. That process is also set. And then I mean, it can be improved, not that I'm not denying that, but at least to some extent that's there, right? Then from from there, it kind of falters, right? So Ajay has to take more ownership in terms of giving the visuals one day before, not on the day or 2 days before. And we also have to think about creating content 1 week before, ideally speaking. That's how marketing agencies work, right? Like they create everything before, like 1 week at least 1 week. Distribution, right now, the problem is it's with me, right? But whereas in all the other communities, I was able to give it to someone, but we didn't have that person, right? Like there were people coming in and going, like even now, Rishabh was like, okay, I will take it up. Wait, there could be, okay, let me pause.